What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Podcast Sunday, where me and guests speak on different topics concerning life, self-improvement, motivation, business, and even different news stories as well. Hopefully you enjoy the video. Let's get into it. 3, 2, 1. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the best. How did I mess? I say that freaking 700 times a day. How did I mess that up? That's tough. All right. We start. 5. What are you breathing for, Raquan? This is not an interview. This is a podcast. Okay?
What?
5. No, you like, bro.
No, because I'm trying not to laugh. That's what.
Got you. All right. 5, 4, 3. We ain't laughing out here. 2. All right. 5, 4,
right.
3, 2, 1.
All right, let's get it. Signing out.
Do that.
5, 4, 3, 2. You can do it, Zach. 1. Let's go, y'all. Welcome back to the best podcast on YouTube. We are back out here with another episode on, like I said, the best podcast on YouTube. That's just complete facts right there. How you doing, Terrence? How you doing, Faquan? What's going on? Welcome.
What's good? Welcome back.
I'm great. I'm wonderful. I'm fantastic. Exuberant. Autumn, fantastic, and good words in the dictionary. That's me.
Great.
So,
Sir.
positive.
Right. Wonderful. But yeah, so we are back out here. Another episode. Said that already. But let's start off with the weekly reviews. Faquan, random, go. Good vibes.
So for the week, the only thing that I've been looking to do is to invest in this course that is going to be teaching me how to day trade, and also this other course that's going to teach me how to invest, because those two words are different. They're trading and investing. They're different. So I want to have a chunk of money for investing. We'll let that grow over a period of time, and then learn how to make money with day trading, like as if I was getting income. So I always wanted to learn those two things, and this is my opportunity to learn it. There's not much going on due to the COVID-19, so it's a good time to learn a new skill, and this is going to help me very, very far in the future, so now's a good time to do it. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I guess I'll go next with weekly recap, since Zeph looks like he's not even by his mic.
My apologies.
But yeah, so my weekly recap, same thing, been really chilling because of COVID. Things have been really slow on my end, but I got about 10 days left from when we're recording this, so 2 Mondays from now, I'll be starting orientation for medical school. So really, really looking forward to that, and really looking forward to kind of taking that next step. Right now, just doing some preparatory like readings and summer readings that they were recommended, trying to find motivation to keep doing work, but at the same time enjoying that free time and freedom I still have left.
Gotcha.
Just keeping up with the YouTube, trying to stay consistent, 1 video a week. I actually was interested in collaborating with some people and talking to some people with collaboration. So that's something I'm looking forward to really doing with YouTube, just kind of in any space in my field anyway, just using social media, using different platforms to help build connections. I recently was added into Black medical student GroupMe. This week it has about like 800 different like incoming first year medical students across the country. I don't know if they're all first years, but there's 800 people in the GroupMe. So there's a bunch of different people that are, incoming first year medical students, just kind of, some of it's kind of just like, small talking, some of it's actual real conversation, some of it's like sharing resources and stuff. So, taking it for what it is and using the opportunity to have already, talked to a couple different people on there to set up collaborations for YouTube videos. So trying to do a little bit more of that kind of stuff, kind of getting outside my bubble, even though we have to kind of stay in a bubble right now with COVID, kind of using social media to, branch out and talk to different people and get different perspectives. I think that's one of the biggest things that I didn't really do as much as an undergrad, although I was part of like clubs and organizations. Being able to do it in a very, national on a national scale, I think will be, beneficial to just my overall education and building connections.
Got you. Fantastic. Do any of the people in the group meet go to your or are going to be enrolling in your school?
I have no idea. There's it's like any group chat. Like there's a select people that kind of are at the forefront of talking every single day. They seem they've been there for a while and they, have the same conversations with similar people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not 100% sure. So there could be somebody lingering like I'm lingering, that goes to the same school as me. But I really just joined like 2 days ago. So I really don't know. One of the people I actually connected with, he put something in the group chat saying he has a YouTube channel as well. And he put something in the group chat saying how he was looking for people to collaborate on a video. And he's got about like 100-something subscribers. And I was reaching out to him and looking to do a collaboration or looking to get in on his video. Because I had actually made a video on the topic that he wanted to talk about. So I wanted to kind of get in and share my opinion. And maybe do like a little trade-off, 1-for-1 type of situation. He helped me out. I helped him out. So I've actually seen this guy like all over medical school YouTube. I see him like commenting on everybody's videos, and then I eventually like get to meet this person. I'm like, I've seen this guy every commenting on every single person's post, but I finally get to like sit down and have a conversation. So hopefully this weekend we can have a conversation. He actually is like, oh, I know who you are. I've been watching your videos for a while. You're Terrence Thomas the GOAT. I'm like, all right. I'm just a regular guy. Like,
that's
relax.
tough.
But
this man Terrence got fans. Okay.
No, sir. No, sir. I'm just doing me.
He said, I'm humble.
Humble before you.
That's lit. That's even great that you even got into. I mean, was that like by chance, or were you even going to be looking at it?
It was really by chance because actually somebody found my page, subscribed to me, then he hit me up on Instagram and he was like, congrats, I really like your stuff, keep putting out videos. There's a Black incoming medical student group me, you want me to like put you in or add you in? So there's actually like a Black men in medicine, and there's overall just like Black students, like men and women. So some of it's kind of just like BSing, some of it's kind of actual like conversation. They'll put in like a talking point and be like, what do you guys think about this? Interested to it's something I kind of maybe want to talk about in the podcast too.
Gotcha.
Of this, like, how valuable is it? Because sometimes they'll put stuff in the group chat. What do you guys think about this? And everybody has the same opinion. It's kind of like everybody's trying to like save face. Everybody's trying to like have that positive energy. So you never really have true conversation sometimes. And it's like when you put so many people that have the same opinion together, is it really actually benefiting anyone?
Got you.
But it's still beneficial overall just to have that camaraderie. I think, especially in a field that's very, very underrepresented. So, I'm interested if you guys think in any way, like, what are your opinions on stuff like that? If it's important to unite and form a union, but do you feel that there is some downsides to that where like everybody has the same opinion? It's not really helping anybody grow mentally.
Well, we have our topic. I didn't even get to do my weekly review, so I can't answer yet. But we have our topic. See, it just flows naturally. Freestyle. You feel me? Freestyle. Woo. All right. Woo. So before we get into that topic, thank you, Terrence, for kind of leading us in. But I got to do my weekly. Gotta get my weekly review. So streaming has definitely been going on. Streaming, got my affiliate set up. Was that this week or last week? I can't remember if I talked about it in last week's podcast.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I know you really started getting.
Yeah, I really started doing it this week. No, I got it on Saturday, so we didn't talk about it. So, Kingzeph is affiliated now on Twitch. Okay, we're live. We are getting AdSense on YouTube soon. And yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's just growth on both channels. It's great. It's great. And it's just even more like I'm just seeing all the people that I I think everybody says it, but I truly have the best fans out here, bro. Like, honestly. They've proven it time and time again by doing stuff that they don't need to do. Like, I just had somebody in the stream, shout out LaRon, probably not watching this, but hey, man. He goes, I brought him in because you guys know how sometimes I be on the streams and I go into like random matches and I get people to follow me. So I brought him in one time and now he's doing it on his own, getting people to follow my channel on Twitch just by, like talking to them, going to random squad matches. And I've seen a few of the people that he actually followed through and it's been lit. Like, I don't hear nobody else fans doing that. Like, come on now. We different out here on the Kingzeph channel, you feel me? So but yeah, so business thing is going on good. I'm doing a lot of designs, got some feedback from the people on what you guys like, what you don't like. So yeah. So I put out the designs, I got a lot of feedback. So, I'm in contact with my manufacturer. He just actually hit me up, so I gotta hit him up after the pod. But things are moving, and I'm excited to see. Very excited to see. This is my first business. Started at 19. That's something you don't hear about a lot. So, black young entrepreneur out here. You feel me? So, yeah, it's lit. It's live.
Yes, sir.
And I'm excited to see what happens with it. But yeah. So whenever I put those out, I'm gonna definitely let y'all know. But without further ado, let's get into the topic today. I think, Terrence, you should be the one to lead us off since you brought it up.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, getting involved with the group chat. And, group chat is one thing. It's interesting to see it in different elements because you could talk about it in different things. You could talk about it in a conference setting. You could talk about it in a group chat setting. You could talk about anything. Getting people together of similar backgrounds, similar interests, similar mindsets, how does it impact growth and how does it impact, true evolution within, I guess. If you were talking about uniting in order to combat something else, that's definitely, I feel, in my opinion, very, very beneficial. But how does it impact us as a unit if everybody in the unit thinks the same, groupthink in a way? So I'm interested to hear what you guys think about that. And I want to chime in as well, kind of feed off of your guys' opinions.
Got you. Faquan, would you like to go first?
I always want Faquan to go first. No, but so I think it is very beneficial to have everybody to think the same because people have this negative connotation with if everybody thinks the same, there's no progression, and then all these things. Mm-hmm. There's some benefits to both. They both obviously have pros and cons. Mm-hmm. I think one of the pros with everybody thinking alike or similar is that there is no. I'm trying to think of a word.
I wouldn't say friction.
You think it's like there's more solidarity?
Yes, solidarity, no friction. There's more. Nobody's confused. That's the word. Nobody's confused on where they're going. Everybody's same purpose. Everybody's moving in the same direction. Everybody has that. So if everybody's feeling the same and they move on one accord, that's a smooth running train.
Yeah.
Versus big group with different opinions, different outlooks, they're going to be going in each different way. They're going to be going this way, that way, this way. Well, you said that, but I don't agree with you. I'm going to go this way. So it could be very confrontational if everybody's thinking so differently. Because even in the company, yes, they do want people to think differently. But at the end of the day, we all have to come together on this one decision, and that's how we're going to move forward. So,
right.
Yeah.
Got you.
What do you think, Zach?
Well, I mean, I kind of have that same thing because, like, I kind of think of it as like, I don't know if this is the best analogy, but like with ants. So ants, they all are working together. They all have the same goal. They are, they're doing what they're doing. It's not necessarily a big leader in it, but still, we're not talking about leadership. But they all have the same goal and they get what needs to get done effectively. So like Saquon said, there's no friction, there's no confrontation because you are having this one goal and it just gets done a lot quicker. But I get what you're saying on the other hand, where it's like, if there's no one to, like I have or you guys, I think I've said it to both of you guys, the saying where it's like, if you're the smartest one in your group of 5, you need to find a new group. Because if you are doing, or if you're all in the same mindset, all in the same thing as to, because it could get bad in the sense that if you're all thinking the same way and you're staying in that spot when there is growth that can be made, then that is hindering you from doing that growth, because they're all going to think that, oh, this is the best that we have. This is the best that we can do. And then nobody's going to want to grow, and they're just going to stay at that field when they could be up here if they have that opposing mindset, not necessarily opposing their idea or the finished goal or finished product, but trying to find a better and different way to do it and get the job done. So I see on both sides definitely the benefits. Like Saquon said, there's pros and cons to both. So as for the best, if you have a goal that you want to get done quickly, I'd say the first option, which is to have everybody in the same mindset. But if you feel as though it's just a stagnation and it's just you're staying in one spot when you feel as though you can be so much further, a lot quicker, or be a lot higher in whatever you want to do, or be a lot more knowledgeable, then I'd say you be that person to kind of take the train off the tracks and try to find a better route to get what you need to get done.
Yeah, just hearing you guys talk about it, I think one thing that I'm thinking about is like, if you do have people that have different opinions and you want that ultimate, in an ideal world, everybody has slightly different opinions. Like Furqan said, you put those opinions together to ultimately reach the final goal. I think it's important that everybody has to be open. If everybody's going to have conflicting opinions, everybody has to be open to allowing different opinions to infiltrate, their personal mindset and point of view in order to make themselves better. So if you're looking at it from a sense of like, would you individually like to be put in a place that it has all different people thinking different things? Of course, because as an individual, if I'm going to be open-minded, you could just take pieces from everybody.
Yeah.
But if you're in a situation where you're like, hey, I want to be put in a place where I'm trying to get success out of the entire group, then you want everybody to kind of be on the same page and agreeing, so that you, like Zed said, the fastest way to get from point A to point B is, directly. Everybody's thinking the same way. You can be more direct.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about, I guess, is there a way to get the best of both worlds? Is that too idealistic? Is it a situation where if you have so many people thinking the same way, and you have, let's say you have 1,000 people thinking the same way, and 50 people or maybe 10 people, not enough people to really unite and overcome that majority, are you essentially silencing them? Are you essentially forbidding different thought by having like such a large group sometimes? So what do you guys think about that?
In my fair opinion, I think you can get very far if everybody thinks in one accord. Think of it like this: for the followers who are watching, and who are, let's say, of a certain religion, let's say Christianity, if you go to the early parts of like the Old Testament and you see certain things like the Israelites and how they were escaping from Egypt and how they were going to the Promised Land and how they had to do certain things. If they thought, since they're thinking so differently, right? Why are we here? I miss Egypt. I'm hungry. Like all these, they weren't thinking in one accord. Okay, let's all come together. Let's do this and that so that,
Got you.
that we can get to point A. But no, they were thinking in different directions. Hey, I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. Hey,
Yeah.
whoa. By them thinking in these different ways, instead of coming together as one and being united and having one thought and one mind,
Yeah.
a lot of them, they didn't make it. They didn't make it.
Right.
They did not make it. They didn't make it. The next generation did.
Yeah.
They didn't make it. There was a reason as to why. You have to be on one accord. Where the people have no vision, the people shall perish.
Mm-hmm.
So if your vision should be the same as your friend, your mother, your brother, whoever is in your group. It should be the same. It should be on one accord. If you're following through with an objective or a mission, it should be on one accord.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have these different thoughts, which can be very beneficial, it can bring very huge benefits to a person, a company, whatever you're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I just believe, in my opinion, having that one solidified one way of thinking can bring you very far. And I just feel like people have a very negative connotation on it and this misconception on it.
Gotcha.
That I just do it who have this one mind, one thought, because it doesn't mean you can't bring in different ideas. It does not mean that.
Right.
It means, okay, if somebody brings in a different idea, okay, do you agree? Do you agree? Do you agree? Once it makes sense to everybody, again, we're still on this one accord. But if that one person is like, no, I don't get that. Because that's what could happen when you have so many different types of people and backgrounds, and the way they do things is not the way you do things. And they're going to bring it, hey, I want to do it this way. But you're not used to doing it that way at all. You're not. And it's going to be hard for you to change, because that's not something that you want to do. And you're just not used to it. So
I don't know. I think
that's
I think that's a very, very good point. And you kind of answered that question from like the perspective of, I guess, a unit and a team situation. I 100% agree. Like when it comes to a unit and it comes to a team objective, I don't want people on my team that I know I'm going to have to like argue and like drag them along just to like get them to do things the way that I want, or agree with the group, because they're always going to be like, but wait, we could do this way. Or what about that? What about, if we're trying to get something done, let's all come together. In the case where we're not talking about getting something done, and it's just like put as many different people in the room as possible, let the conversations happen, and then everybody takes away what they can to go into their individual lives, then that's a different story. But it's tough. It's in the latter situation, I guess, for me, the fear of, if you were to put a bunch of people in the same room and they were going to eventually go off into their own worlds, having too many people that think the same, like let's say like a conference for like doctors. Like, I've been to a conference where you'll have thousands of doctors and they'll all just think the same way. And then you'll have one doctor that thinks differently. Yeah. And literally research that came out of my job. We came up with this unique system, and because it's unorthodox, because it's using different instrumentation, because it's new and innovative, people kind of look at you sideways like, why would you do it that way? We've been trained to do it like this for so many years. And now everybody that thinks the same is now ostracizing this potentially great idea, this potentially great thought. And now they're going to, be closed-minded and go off and do their own thing. And the person that is innovative, the person that's new, somebody that has a different idea, is now discouraged from not giving out their opinion and giving out their thoughts. So it's a double-edged sword, I think. And it's one of those things that, as a person personally who likes to be like an innovator, somebody that likes to be like a contrarian in that way, to kind of push things forward, it's definitely gets scary. And, different mentors I've had have always told me, there was always somebody that thought something was crazy until they weren't crazy, or everybody thought somebody was crazy when they had this new idea until it wasn't crazy anymore.
Exactly.
So it's one of those things where you kind of have to just keep pushing through. even if you have a different opinion.
Got you. No, definitely. I mean, I think we're all agreeing that there are definitely pros and cons to both situations. 1 second. Something just popped up on my computer. All right. 3, 2, 1. But yeah, no. So I mean, I really say it in every single conversation that we have. Whatever you take from this conversation, you have to make sure it's tailored to your situation. Like, we're not here to tell you what to do. Right. We're telling our opinions. Like, there could be one situation where you need, like you said, that outside or the one going against the grain, and there's one situation where you're going to need the unity. So it has to be tailored to whatever situation. We're just here to tell our opinions on each situation, the pros and cons of both aspects or perspectives. So at the end of the day, it's always like tailored to whatever you got going on. That's what that's all I'm saying. But yeah, no, so it's I mean, we can keep going back and forth, but I'm just saying we all agree. Like, I don't know. I don't have anything more to say. Like, I don't know.
I actually have a question about it's kind of going like off this topic, or kind of like branching off this topic.
Yeah.
I guess as far as just like opening minds to like different opinions and stuff. Like, how do you guys feel? So like, now we know that like cancel culture is like rampant right now. Like, somebody does something bad, you get rid of them.
Yeah.
Right. How do you feel about like somebody having like a strong opinion in something that you like truly can't really mess with, but everything else about them is top notch fire? How do you treat that person? How do you, let's say somebody you look up to, how do you feel about that? I want to open up the floodgates for that one.
For Quan is ready. You're the one moving all around your camera, bro.
We'll talk about this after the podcast. All right. So I've been in many situations like this with a few of my friends. We've had differences in the way we think, differences in what we practice, what we believe. We just move differently. Now, okay. Can I get a timeout?
Hoping nobody watches.
Foul on the play. Flag.
Gotcha.
Okay. Because I know this is gonna be recorded, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I look back on this, and I'm like, Quan, you're lying. That's not what you actually think. That's why it's hard for me, because what I'm about to say out of my mouth could be very controversial. Okay, but I'm gonna be the controversial.
It's been sorted for a lot.
I'm gonna be the villain. Let me be the villain. As always. So I've been in many situations like this with my friends, with past associates. We think different. What we believe is different. Just many things about us are different. It's about how you can work around that. Let's say you're in a work environment and one of your coworkers is completely against what you follow, what you believe in, what you think. You treat them accordingly, such as if that person says hi to you, you say hi back. If that person wants to make small talk with you, you make small talk. That doesn't mean that person is now your friend. That's just an associate that you talk to at work. Same thing with you at school, college. Some classes, they assign you a partner or somebody that you have to work with for the remainder of that class.
Gotcha.
And you may hate that person deep down inside your heart. You may hate them with everything, with every fiber in your body, but you have to learn how to deal with people. One scripture that I follow is be wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. That means you have to know how to move in certain situations. It doesn't mean you treat them any different. It doesn't mean you talk to them any different. You have conversations with them. Okay, yeah. Just as long as it doesn't cross that threshold where it's like, okay, now we're talking about something that I deeply believe in, and we just can't have this conversation. Just bring it up, but you have to learn how to maneuver that conversation ever so slightly, just in a very smart way. Do things accordingly. It'll get you very far in life.
What about in a situation like, let's say you work, like, let's say you're in a group project, right, in college, and you love what this person does, right, for your project. You make a connection with them, you have their number, whatever, whenever you need to work for the project during that semester, you hit them up. But you know that they disagree with everything that you believe in. You know, they think let's say they think like your religion is a hoax or something, right? You know, do you ever reach out back to that person when you're done with them, or like reach out and stay connected with that person and say like, hey, I really value your computer science abilities. I'm just going to forget about everything else. How do you feel about that? Cancel, kind of burn bridges.
No, you don't. That's the way I kind of gave that rhetoric with the wise as a serpent and harmless as a dove. For instance, you have a pet snake, and the pet snake if you have a certain type of snake that's, let's say, small, it's a small type of snake, they're going to look at you, they're going to size you up, and he's going to think, I can't eat him. I'm not going to attack him because I can't eat him. My mouth can't open that wide. So therefore, I'm not going to attack him. But that small mouse, I'm going to attack that. That other animal, I'm going to attack that. It's how you move, basically.
Right.
So if I do need that person's help, or I see that person be beneficial to me with a project, with computer science, with coding, building a website, building an application, or the user interface, back end, front end, doing some coding, then yes, I will keep that link there. Hey, what's up? Okay, let's talk. You have to learn how to conversate with these people, but never let it cross that threshold. Boom, don't let it, bring it back.
Right.
Okay, let's bring it right here. Stay in the bubble, stay in that box.
Yeah, stay in the
Don't
lane,
let it escape there. But again, that takes a high level of, I don't want to even say intelligence. You just have to be sly.
Yeah, just emotional intelligence, I guess.
Yes, emotional intelligence. And you just have to learn how to move, and that's something that if you don't have it, it can be taught. Right. So don't worry if you don't have it. It's something that you can be taught or learn through experience.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah.
What do you think, Zach?
But yeah, no. So I mean, it's definitely. It might seem like a tough situation, but it's really not if you really think about it. Because like, if you have somebody that's going completely against what you believe in, or I guess you could say in a sense, or if they hate what you believe in, I would definitely say not to attempt to befriend that person, because I feel as though that relationship could only end off in a very bad way, and it would just be bad for both of you. Because once they do find out that you are in that belief, or you do go about that whatever lifestyle or whatever, then I just don't see it as anything that's going to be too beneficial in the future if you go to that point of a friendship, or say just anything more than, like you said, a project partner or somebody that you can go to for information or whatever like that. It's not that you're like cutting them off. You just don't let it get to the point where that friendship or bond is formed, where then it could just end off in a very negative way once both parties understand each other to that point or to that extent. Also, I mean, you could go about it where you let them know that you don't agree with their beliefs off the rip, if you know that they have this certain sort of thinking where you both agree that you aren't going to get to that friendship point, but you will still be in contact, just in case you let them know that if you need something, you can call me, but we're not going to. So you both have that mindset where we're not going to be doing or getting to that point of friendship or whatever, or bonding, just based off of our contrary beliefs. Like I said, that would save you a lot of time if both parties know.
Yeah.
because I don't think anybody's going to change their belief for a friendship. That's
I actually want to challenge that. I don't know if I'm just thinking contrarian or if I'm just trying to make a conversation, but I actually think that in certain ways, development of a friendship can actually help to take that guard off and expand your point of view, or help somebody expand point of view. And the first thing I thought about when you said that was Daryl Davis, who, I don't know if you guys are familiar with him, but he basically for a living converts KKK members into, non-racist, or helps or convinces KKK members, a black man, grew up in the, civil rights era, convinces KKK members to give in their cloaks and quit the KKK. Whether or not he converts them all the way to not racist, or he gets rid of, those underlying biases. But, his life mission, he stumbled upon it. His life mission now is to open the conversation, open the dialect, close down the barriers, open the barriers up, and allow for that conversation. So, he met a KKK member in the bar one time. He was playing at this white bar, and he was the only black musician there. And the guy came up to him afterward and was like, "I've never seen a black person play like this white musician." And he had to educate the man and say, "Well, actually, that white musician that you're referring to learned it from a black guy." And they just struck up a conversation, started talking. This is a white man talking to a black musician. And the white guy was like, this is actually my first time talking to a black guy before. And he's like, why is that? And the guy didn't answer, and his friend nudged him, and he's like, tell him why. And he's like, well, I'm part of the KKK. Struck up a friendship. They had conversations. One learned that the other one wasn't so bad. It's obvious that, you shouldn't judge people on the context of their skin, but back in that time when that person had that mindset, they thought a certain way. But development of a friendship, development of a bond helped them have an open mindset and actually change their negative viewpoint on the world to something more positive. That's not going to happen for everybody. He talks about it all the time, about how it doesn't work for everybody. Not everybody's going to give in their cloak. Not everybody's going to believe in you. Some people are going to stay racist and you can't get to them, but he truly believes that there's a lot of people that you can, by having a conversation, by developing a friendship, developing a relationship, you can actually, open up somebody's point of view, somebody's worldview. So I just thought about that based on what you said. I don't know if I would recommend for somebody to
go limit a KK member in the bar.
Well, that too. But I don't know if I would tell somebody like, hey, you meet somebody that may have a different point of view, a worldview as you, and let's say you bonded over something different, a third party thing you bonded over. I wouldn't say, hey man, we're never going to be friends because you believe in this, I believe in this. That friendship could actually lead to eventually down the road, maybe I don't believe in this as much as I thought after having a conversation with you, or maybe I don't believe in this as much as I thought after having a conversation with you, after hearing your point of view, after hearing your family's point of view, after you hearing my family's point of view. It's never always black and white. There's always some hybrid in the middle. And that's just my opinion, but I don't know. It's a complex thing. That's why cancel culture is so tough, because somebody has one point of view on something, you want to throw out the baby with the bathwater. When in reality, maybe it's just a conversation should be had. How many times have we grown up knowing something or thinking that we know something or learning something, and then we have to unlearn it. I think we talked about it in a recent podcast, unlearning bad behaviors or bad point of views that we were taught and we just went along with. Somebody told us that we weren't supposed to have the lights on at night, and when the car window was driving, somebody told us that was illegal, and in reality it's actually not. And we just grew up learning that, just little things like that. Like, that's a small example, but I just think that conversation can fix a lot of things. I don't know what you guys think.
I won't call on you for Quan this time. Okay, calm down.
I'm gonna jump in.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So here's the thing, to kind of Let me not say rebuttal.
Uh-huh.
Got you. So what I would say on that, I'm gonna have two parts for that.
Okay.
So what I would say is that you're definitely right. You're absolutely correct. You can have that moment where you are talking completely opposite of what you think, what you believe in, and you sit down and you have that conversation with that person, and you kind of drag them in, like they get more intrigued. They want to hear more information. They want to hear that proof, the facts as to why you believe or why you think the way you think. And the more information that they find out, it helps to break down those walls or disapprove what they think. Now, on the other hand, you do have cases where you do have that sit down and it's more of like a back and forth argument. It's not always going to go there because change is the number one thing in your life. For all the people watching it, change is the number one thing in your life. That's going to be one of the hardest things for you to do. The hardest things for you to do. To go completely in a different direction from the way you were thinking, what you were doing, it's hard. It's not easy. And you're going to find yourself going back to the things that you used to do by accident. And it's just going to happen on one, like, oh, snap, like you're going to snap. Because it's so embedded in you, it's sewn into you, like your DNA, that it's you're gonna slip, you're gonna fall. But yes, you can change, but that's a battle.
Yeah,
That's a uphill battle, and you're going to have to do that for life. That change is going to take time. It's going to take time to change your mindset. It's going to take time to change your actions, and everything which you believe.
Yeah.
And also, it's going to be hard because those people around you from before, when you're trying to change, they're used to that old person that you were. So they're going to help to kind of block you off from changing because they're so used to that old person that you were that they're going to be like, what happened to that old person that you were?
Right.
I don't know you. I don't know you. Then they're going to try to bring in things into your life to help to remind you of that old person that you were. That's why it's so hard. It's because it's not only an internal battle, it's also an external battle with the people around you. And that includes friends, and that includes family as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. It was lagging a little bit, but it's good now.
Okay, good. Do I need like better connection or something?
I don't know. Like you're right by the router, right?
Yeah.
No, you're good. I just want to add something right before Zeph goes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kind of agreeing with that. You know, I forgot who said it, but somebody was like, if somebody's making fun of your, and it's important to, if you do want to have an open mind, if you do intrinsic motivation and that self-drive, because like Faquan said, people around you are going to want to pull you back into that same habit. You know, I heard somebody say, if somebody's making fun of your diet, you know, if you're working out, you're trying to lose weight and somebody's making fun of you, then you're doing the right thing, because that means you're making a change and people around you are not accustomed to it. So if you're trying to lose weight and you're eating pasta, or if you're throwing away all the pasta and you're eating only salad and somebody's making fun of you, like, oh, why don't you grab something real to eat? Like, that means you're doing something right, because that means you made a change enough for somebody to notice and to pick on you about it. So I just thought that just came to my mind when you said that. So I think that's 100% true. You got to have that self-drive. And if you see somebody in your inner circle kind of making fun of you, you know, you're doing the right thing in a way.
Mm-hmm. Got you. I mean, I was kind of going to touch on that too, about like, even when you brought up the thing about the Daryl, or what was his name? Daryl Davis.
Daryl Davis. Yeah.
Daryl Davis. I was kind of iffy on that specific situation. Like, I understand what you're talking about with the, like, how you can make the friendship to kind of change somebody's mindset. I just didn't think of that before, but you know, this is the conversations. So, but with that situation, I would say I'm not sure if that's a good thing to do, for the simple fact that he can have that conversation with Daryl. He can befriend Daryl. He can be like the best of friends with Daryl. But when he goes home, he still has all these other people that surround him that tell him, and everybody that he knows, like you guys said, is going to tell him these other stuff. So is his mindset really changing, or is he just hiding it because of his friendship with Daryl? And just even another thing, it's like that's just for that specific situation I'm speaking of, where it's like I feel as though he could be. It has great intentions what Mr. Daryl is doing, but they haven't moved from where they are living. They haven't. I'm not sure if they cut off any friends within that group. Like you said, they could.
Well, I mean, he said he gave. I mean, he gave up the KKK. I mean, he converted like the president of the KKK to like give in his like cloak or whatever. So I mean, it's one of those things where like they give in something. It's kind of like you're giving in your religion. Like these people, you know, it's a cult, and people are giving in. Like they're pretty much saying, "I'm giving up this thing that I was heavily, you know, embedded in." But like you said, I agree. I mean, but he also is like a master communicator. Like if you hear this guy talk, if you look up anything of this guy like talking and having conversation, like I watched his Joe Rogan interview, and like this guy is just captivating. Like just his voice, his way he articulates. So he could probably do that with anybody. He could probably convince, you know, whatever the phrase is, a fish that could fly, or like whatever. Like he's just able to captivate you and have that conversation. He's a master communicator. So you're right. I mean, that's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, so it's definitely great to have that skill. Like I said, they're always going to go home at the end of the day. They're always going to still be surrounded, maybe not with those same people, but I'm pretty sure if their family was okay with them being in the KKK, their family would try to or get them back into that mindset. Or it's not necessarily they would do nothing to change it. I don't know. I just don't feel like that situation is just like I don't know.
I do.
I do.
No, it's tough. It's definitely tough. I don't know. And I think it's a great conversation to have. Like, I don't know if these people actually went home and like, even though they gave up the KKK, that's just one extreme of like being racist. You know, definitely. You still have underlying prejudices. You still have underlying beliefs, point of views that you could truly believe in, and have ingrained in you that you know, just implicitly just have. You don't even think about. Just because you did something external doesn't mean necessarily internally is all fixed up. So
exactly,
that's a good point. And I think it's worth having. You know, who knows? Who knows?
Yeah,
but it's definitely a good debate to have. It's definitely a good conversation to have. You know, what's the real implications of that conversation? You know, that friendship. Does it go beyond, you know, that friendship? Does it go beyond that one interaction?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so just to piggyback a little bit off of what, because I hear both of you on this whole friendship thing. Now this is gonna sound terrible. It's gonna sound bad. Now, let's go back to that whole situation where somebody is they're the total opposite of you, right? I've been in situations where the other party or the other person thinks I'm their friend, right? When they're really not. They're an associate to me. I just treat you accordingly. I'm going to smile in your face. I'm going to, it's like how I'm at work. Hi, how are you? How was your day? Okay, that's interesting. You know, be safe. Certain things that I do, it makes it seem as though, and the way I articulate, just like how you said before with Jared Davis, which I'm not saying I'm any way, shape, or form like him with the way he articulates his words, but you can certainly learn that.
Right.
You can. It's kind of like you make people think that you're their friend, but you're really not. It's kind of like this might sound bad. It's kind of like you're using them to get what you want to get, and then trying back, and you don't stare back in when you need something, drop them back out when you don't need it, and then it's a back and forth. But that's what I would call, in my personal opinion, that's an associate. If we're not really hanging out after work, if I'm not calling you like that, you aren't friends. We're not. You may think we're friends, We're not friends. You're just like a high level associate. That's it. And associates associates generally for me stay in the box of being an associate, because I can tell who's going to be my friend initially from meeting you. Usually,
best friend.
I can tell.
Yeah, no, I agree. That actually makes me think. I think it makes me think about my friend group, and I guess I could try to identify all the common or similarities. I mean, all of us probably have very similar core beliefs. That's why we're friends. But when it comes out of the core belief system, then you're, like you said, high acquaintance. I'm thinking about the people I work with, the people I interact with, even people that I'm friendly with. Doesn't mean we're friends. So that's very, very interesting. I think by putting that emphasis on the word and putting the emphasis on the definition of what friend is, I think it takes you to another level when you have that conversation. It's very interesting. That leads me to another conversation we could go on about like friends. Like, what's the difference between like having a friend off history, previous point of views, like when you were younger, when you were a little kid, and now like you grow up. Like, how long can history keep somebody a friend? How long can friendship be based off strictly history if you two go off and do your own things and you're not on the same quote unquote level anymore? Does reminiscing about the good old days still keep you a friend, or does that mean that they're acquaintance now or a former friend? You know, I've thought about different things like that, and I
like that word, acquaintance. I'm about to start using that, acquaintance.
But it's just an interesting conversation to have. Like, like me and Zeph growing up, we weren't like friendly. We were family, but like, I wasn't like friendly with Zeph because we have a big age gap. We didn't really have anything to talk about. But now that we have more things in common, it's like, okay, now we're building more of like a friendship, a bond. You know, same thing with anybody. You can have a friendship when you're younger, and then you grow up and you're like, oh, we're not close anymore. It's like, how long does history really hold people together? And it's a deep conversation. It's a deep conversation to have, because I have a lot of people that I'm close with, and history holds us together. But you always think about like, what if you don't talk to those people for a while? Like, what if? But then, those core values, they might come back, and like it's just like riding a bike. You don't see them for 10 years, and you come back together, and it's like you never left. So it's so interesting how like just bonds are formed like that. It's literally like chemistry. Like some two things that you could bring them apart from so long, and then if you bring them close enough, they ignite. So
definitely. All right, thank you very much, you guys, for tuning in to this episode of Podcast Sunday. We are going to be ended off here, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. Definitely want to hear your opinions on what we spoke about in the comments. So I mean, if you guys got anything to say or have any questions, definitely let us know in the comments, and we will do our best to answer all of them. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day as well. Peace.
Peace.